Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Welcome back, ladies and germs, to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast. Every Saturday night, we watch a movie that we sit around and talk about it for your listening pleasure and enjoyment. These are the Saturday Night Freak Show Superstar Irregulars.
This is Nick, guest appearance.
Holly.
Sean.
And I'm Colin. Hey, if you want to get a hold of us, you can write to us on Facebook.com/Saturday Night Freak Show. We'll read your comments on the air, or get a hold of us on Twitter. We're at Sat Freak Show, or via email at SaturdayNightFreakShow@yahoo.com. And also, we encourage you, if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher, please like us or give us a star rating. It helps us be found by other like-minded individuals like yourself. Tonight, Sean chose the movie. Sean, what did we watch tonight?
We watched the oh-so-memorable Sorority House Massacre II.
Which is from the year
1990.
And directed by
Jim Wynorski.
I'm going to throw another one in here. What's the tagline for the movie?
I don't know.
Okay. We should do that like in the future.
Probably.
Taglines.
I know it was once. It was also technically they called it a remake of a movie called Nighty Nightmare, which makes sense.
Nighty Nightmare.
Nighty Nightmare.
Never heard of
Just
that one.
perfect.
Do you have a personal tagline for it?
I did say the ever memorable. That's what it should be. Wait, no, what was it? No, just the poll quote for me was everything I remembered and more.
Yeah.
Sorority House Massacre II.
Yeah. So this is, as Holly put it, this is some plastic surgeon's demo reel. 90 minutes of silicone.
Of fabulousness.
All right. So tell me, first of all, how did you come by this movie originally?
This was one of those video store finds.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I mean, anything with the title with massacre in it, you're just like, all right, that sounds good. Especially as a 10-year-old boy.
It wasn't sorority that got you?
No.
No.
I mean, the cover.
The three huddled girls, all in their 90s on the cover.
Yeah, which them with the guy with the knife. But that was like for this series and the other series, Slumber Party Massacre. Like those were the covers. I think the first Sorority House Massacre was a guy looking through a window at a girl in her nightie.
Yep, I remember that one.
Yeah, the second one is the three huddled together on the front with the guy and the knife. It's in relation to Slumber Party Massacre, which was the driller killer on the front cover with the three girls in their nighties huddled together, three different girls.
That one was significant at the time, I believe, because in the slasher movie, slasher movies that were happening at the time, that one was written and directed by a woman.
Yes.
Which is ironic because when you're seeing parts of it, it's a dude with a drill. There's a scene where the shot is from between. He's standing over her, and between his legs, he's got the drill pointed down.
I think that's the cover. I believe it's that, and you can see the three girls.
A woman directed Slumber Party, the first one.
Slumber Party.
Woman directed Slumber Party. I'm pretty sure woman directed the first Sorority, and I think Slumber Party 2 and 3 were also directed by women. And I think that covers all the women, but it was mostly directed by women. The Slumber Party.
That is shocking.
Yeah. Well, I think that was part of the reason why that she did. It was an Amy something, if I remember her name. I can't remember. But it was the idea that, these movies got a reputation for being misogynistic.
Yes.
So then, it's like, well, a woman will do it. And she makes a misogynistic horror
Right. I mean,
movie.
originally written as sort of more satire than what it ended up, but something happened during filming where they just went straight for the misogyny and the usual slasherness of it.
Yeah.
So
Production company.
Probably.
I wonder what came first, was Body Double or Slumber Party Massacre? Because if you remember were you here for that episode?
Mm-hmm.
There's a shot where it's the exact same shot with the drill. Like there's the girl
really?
and it's framed up by the guy's legs, standing over her, and then the drill coming down from the top of the screen. Yeah, that was 84.
I think Slumber was 82 maybe. It was. Okay. I think it was early 80s. It may have also been 84. I'm not sure. It was early, around the same time.
I think the first sorority was 84.
I think so.
Interesting.
84, 86, but they were all early 80s and stuff like that. But this was definitely, yeah. I mean, it's hard to put this one on cable when you have women running around and
All right.
they're.
Was it the
true.
USA Up All Night?
Yeah,
before that, probably.
yeah,
Right?
I would think so. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the ones. The cover attracts you, obviously. And it just being like, we'd probably at that point, we'd seen one. It was this me and my brother. Me and my brother Ryan are always the ones who like ventured to the video store to find something new in the horror aisle, because we just go there every other day and grab something new. Shitty movies, good movies, what have you. Whatever looked cool on the box art, we grabbed it and took it home and watched. So that's where I came into contact with this one. Like I said, we'd seen the first one before. And the first one, the Sorority House Massacre, isn't really a good movie. It's kind of, from what I remember, I mean, comparatively, especially to this one, it's a little boring. And also people have noticed it's kind of a ripoff of Halloween. It's kind of got the same storyline. A brother tries to murder his sister. She goes and thinks she goes to the mental hospital, gets out, and then starts having dreams or memories, remembering all the stuff he did. And then he comes back and kills all her friends and goes after her again.
Because she's staying in a sorority house. That's where that comes in. She's staying with her friends at a sorority house.
Oh, yeah. Well, the sorority house
Yeah.
she stays at
Yeah.
is actually her childhood home where the murders happened.
Yep.
'Cause
That's why the
find knife
flashbacks
in
are
the
coming back
fireplace
and-
everything. And,
Yeah.
But that first Sorority House Massacre has literally nothing to do with this one.
Because this movie is a sequel to Slumber Party Massacre.
Indeed. Even
Which,
though...
Wait. Because Slumber Party Massacre also did have a sequel, correct?
It did. But a sequel that I think had nothing to do... The sequel...
Was
Slumber
the
Party
sequel
Massacre
to
2
Sorority House Massacre?
Well, the sequel to Slumber Party Massacre is it's the rock and roll sequel. It's like the rock and roll version of Slumber Party Massacre. I've never seen it. I don't want to see it. I mean, maybe I do. But on the cover, it's a dude with a guitar, and at the end of the guitar is the drill.
Yeah.
Surrounded by the women.
Yeah, I remember. There was a movie called Driller Killer also at some point back then, too. Yeah, I remember the VHS, era was the video stores, the horror aisle, where I spent a significant amount of my time also.
Where we're raised.
Was, based on these covers, these fantastic, like, painted or drawn covers, which promised you awesome thing. I mean, I remember, like, and again, I think, like, Jim Wynorski, I thought he did, like, Deathstalker 2.
I have a list.
The reason that I think that is because, like, that movie has a fantastic, like, Boris Vallejo cover or something like that. These fantasy people standing there. And then when you see the movie, it's, like, filmed in the... whatever, in the desert outside of outside of Los Angeles or whatever.
Yeah. 1987, Deathstalker 2, Jim Wynorski.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you just the highlights of his directorial efforts. We'll start out with...
Where's Return of Swamp Thing? That was 88.
It is 89, it says 89. In here. Chopping Mall. He directed Chopping Mall.
Yep. All right. Yep.
Return of Swamp Thing in 89. Sorority House Massacre 2 in 90. Hard to Die, also in 1990, which is technically... It was released under 3 titles. Tower of Terror, Hard to Die, and Sorority House Massacre 3. All it is, it's basically the same storyline as part 2, except in a high-rise. It's got Orville Ketchum in it, and a bunch... It does, as Orville Ketchum, and a bunch of women in lingerie running around a skyscraper getting murdered.
Nice. Interesting.
Basically the same storyline.
Wait, did he do Sorceress? That would be like
yes.
83?
He did 976 Evil 2.
Oh, get the fuck
The Astral Factor, yes. Wait, here we go. We got more. He did Ghoulies 4.
Oh, man.
The next year, he did Sorceress in 1995. He did The Wasp Woman. He did a lot of Roger Corman, produced a lot of his movies. Roger Corman produced this one, too. Vampirilla.
Is that the one with Talia? She was a James Bond girl. She was in License to Kill. Was it Talissa or Talia something?
I don't know.
Damn. She was Vampirilla, I think. Did it ever come out? I don't know if it did.
I don't know. What else? Now we're just going to skip to the ones I think I know. The Bear Wench Project in 2000. That was a staple of my childhood. Cheerleader Massacre, which Nick mentioned earlier. Busty Cops. Busty Cops Go Hawaiian.
Hey, I've seen that on Skinamax a couple times.
Yes, have I?
The Witches of Breastwick.
Oh, I've seen that.
Nice.
Does he do the hills have thighs?
It gets better. It gets better. Cleavage Field.
Oh, the Cloverfield.
The Cloverfield one.
Oh.
I've seen that one.
Paranokker's Activity.
And these aren't porn, right? These are
No,
just
no.
like-
These are all-
They're like softcore.
These were all,
Skinamax
yes, all the
stuff.
softcore Skinamax ones. Dino Croc versus Super Gator.
Well,
in
everybody does one
2010.
of those.
Yeah.
Camel Spiders.
Uh-huh.
And one of my personal favorites we've mentioned before, Piranaconda.
Really?
Piranha.
That's him, huh?
Piranaconda. And in looking up his directorial efforts, I happen to notice that I have a 2-degree separation from this director on 2 counts,
Shut up.
actually. I have worked with 2 actresses who have starred in 2 of his films.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sean.
I am just 2 degrees away from this master director.
Wow. So there's a theme that I'm picking up throughout.
You have to
his
find
work.
Right?
Orval.
He's like the
Orville
Yule
Dillon
Bowl
nowadays.
of skin flicks.
Yeah,
He is. Man, that's just the highlights, folks. He's done tons more.
tons of stuff.
Big Bad Mama 2, Death Stalker 2, like you said, Transylvania Twist, Munchie.
No, Munchies. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Not
was the-
Munchies, just Munchie.
I think
Different.
that's the one. It
Is
has
it?
like a little.
It's like a little doll looking guy, but
Yeah, but he's looking
Yeah.
up some woman's
Yeah.
skirt
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the cover of it. Yeah. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
so
tons.
so this movie, yeah, I mean, it was initially confusing to me because there's a flashback scene shortly into the movie, and it's
There
like,
is.
what the fuck? This is why we're saying it is a legit sequel to Slumber Party Massacre,
kind of
because they recap the end of that movie in this movie.
but Hochstetter, that's not Hochstetter. Like
That's the name
they
of the
made
killer?
That's the name of the killer that they assigned to the drill killer from Slumber Party Massacre, but that's not who that is or was in the movie.
So they reshot it.
No. They just chopped up Slumber Party Massacre for the flashbacks and just renamed everybody. That's
So-
not Hochstetter
So
with
they
the
just
drill.
grabbed what they had in the archives.
Yeah. I mean, it's got Roger Corman had to have produced those movies as well because these were all released at some point as well on a DVD where they throw in Slumber Party Massacre and then all the Sorority House Massacres.
Oh.
Where they put them all together. So there's got to be ownership combined there. But yeah, they just grabbed Slumber Party Massacre, renamed the characters in it for the flashback, and now we have Hochstetter. That's why you don't need to watch part 1 because it has nothing to do with part 2.
So
that's
I was
okay.
okay then, just coming into this
Yep.
blind. I don't feel like I missed anything.
No, you did not. It was
Yeah.
all made up right there.
So this movie, like the earliest scene where it kind of announces where it's going, there's a group of college girls.
College aged, yes.
Okay, there's a lot of air quotes going on here. College-age girls who move into this old sorority house, which was apparently the site of a massacre, a slaughter years before, committed by this fellow named Hochstetter.
Hochstetter, yep.
And their neighbor comes over. And this is some grimy looking, the least emotive actor, like probably that ever lived, whose real
Or the
name I
most.
assume is Orville
Catch him?
Ketchum,
Rittenbucker.
or that's got to be his stage name. I don't know.
It's not his real name.
Okay, he's played by the guy we figured out. It's the guy from. He's the abusive dad in Freddy's Dead.
Yes.
Okay. So he comes over and tells the girls the history of the story. We get the flashback. And then he's like, well, if you're staying here, you're probably going to need this. He reaches down, deep down into the front of his pants and comes out with the keys and throws them to her. I'm like, okay, that's what this movie
This is what
Yep.
this movie's going to be.
Yeah.
And then the girls go, "Ooh, the keys are still warm."
Yeah. So we got a bunch of nubile young women.
Yes, who, I mean, over the course of moving into their new sorority house that they have to repaint, there's no lights, there's no phone, candles everywhere.
The goddamn refrigerator doors open. They just leave it open.
Yep.
All the
Drove
time.
me nuts. I'm like, come on. You're wasting electricity. Oh, they don't
They don't have electricity.
Right.
In this dilapidated sorority house.
In a very well lit house without electricity.
It really, yeah, right? Where's all that light coming from?
Yeah, that's a movie
lights.
where like everybody's using flashlights, but clearly they don't need them.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And they find a Ouija board. Do they venture to the basement?
That's where they find the bloody doll.
The bloody doll.
Well, there's they find like the tools or whatever.
Yes.
The tool, well, again, air quotes, the murder implements of Orville Redenbacher. Like, left, they were in the attic, right? No, they're in the basement.
The sex toys were in the attic.
Yeah.
Yeah, sex toys in the attic, murder toys in the basement.
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah. And this is the guy, Orville. Ketchum says, yeah, I should just be able to get that.
Yeah, catch him.
Amityville.
Yeah, catch him, kill him. Yeah. You should have this.
Yeah. So he says that he was hired because he's a neighbor. He lived next door.
Right.
And he was hired to take care of the property.
The real estate agents paid him to look after it and tell him if anything was happening.
But clearly he didn't do a goddamn thing because the inside of this place is still semi-decorated by the previous tenant. Like, there's a picture on the wall hanging there crooked. There's shit all over
boxes
the
and
floor.
papers and everything all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
He cleaned up the blood because he's the guy who found the original victims and cleaned up after it. But like the walls are still covered with dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah. He breathes like an asthmatic.
Yes.
Asthmatic?
He's very large gentleman.
Yeah.
He eats raw meat.
Nope.
While watching slasher movies.
This is number 2 in our raw meat trilogy. We need to find a third one. We've got Lenora.
Oh, right. Yeah,
We've got Lenora. We've got Sorority House Massacre II. We need
Yeah.
to find a third one to
where
complete it.
characters sit around eating raw meat because that's cool to do. If you're not doing it, kids, you're doing it wrong.
It gives your character.
Don't
Sitting
cook
there
your
eating
meat.
raw meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's not too long after this that the best moments in this movie occur.
They find a Ouija board.
Nope. That's not the.
That's not.
I'm leading us there.
See, there we go.
We want to get to the best part of the movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so it's like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, come on, Sean. I mean, it's called Sorority House Massacre. I mean, for God's sakes. But sure enough, at this point, every single girl in this, so what's this, 5? 5 girls.
Yeah.
It dedicates some lovingly shot moments of them disrobing,
gratuity.
Yep.
taking
Like
showers.
full frontal.
Yeah. You can
Well,
see why it made an impression on me as a
Not
child.
taking showers together, but it was damn close.
Yeah.
Giving each other massages.
Squeaky.
Squeak
Breasts.
toys, breasts.
Yeah, yeah. No.
Sound effects in this movie are
There's
great.
a girl in the shower using a bar of soap, and as she goes over her large, breasts, there's the squeaky noise. Yeah, squeaky clean. And then, I mean, that seems like that goes on for like 5 glorious minutes, I think.
Right.
Like,
Indeed, it does.
Until they all put on their nighties and then gather around and play the Ouija board. So, Holly. So this is exactly what sorority life is like, right?
Well,
Right?
I was never in a sorority, so I can't attest to
This
that.
is what dorm life is like.
Do you want the truth?
This happens every once in a while. Something.
She's gonna break her. She's
I
gonna
know.
break her jeans.
Yeah.
Do you want the truth?
No, I
All right, so it happens all the time.
Yep.
Let's just
And,
say I've been doing slumber party wrongs my whole life. Like, just wrong.
Oh,
All wrong. I had no idea.
damn. No tickle fights.
Yeah,
Very
there was a
nice.
tickle fight in this
Yep,
movie,
yep.
and they just kind of hang out in nighties and thongs and just
Oh,
barely
yeah.
clothing.
For the rest of the movie.
Oh,
Yes.
the whole glorified movie.
The whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
going
nothing else.
going
Bless 'em.
upstairs multiple times.
Yep.
Yes.
So poor Holly had to watch this movie like in the company of men. Because this is clearly like, hey,
In the company of men, my time on the Saturday night. Copyright 2016.
Yeah, there was actually, I was wondering what they were, because that became for me the focus of the movie was just like I'm like, okay, this is the audience, as I'm trying to put myself in the mind of the filmmaker who's making this, right? And it's like, okay, so it's a slasher movie, so we'll have some gore, but they didn't have obviously like any money to do real effects,
Or at least to hide it off camera anyway.
yeah. There's a squirt bottle with the that comes in from bottom frame as they're spraying down the walls and stuff like that. Just hit him in the face with blood, you can hear the guy yelling. But the idea that like, okay, so we had the 5 nude scenes all together. Then once they get dressed, it's like, how are we going in the teddies and the nighties and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
99.
How are we going to keep the audience's interest for the rest of this movie? Because then they're going to get stalked by a killer, and those nighties aren't probably coming off again. So what do you do? How do you solve that problem?
You shoot from every conceivable angle that a camera can fit.
No, they went to the fucking strip club.
Oh, they did. Oh,
yeah, there's like a 20-minute strip club scene.
Yeah, for no fucking reason.
No reason.
This is plot B, the B plot,
They
right?
could have gone and knocked on this girl's door, but no.
No, the bridge was out. What are you
Strip
talking
club.
about?
All right, so you got to set
It
this
was.
up. What are we talking about?
So, I mean, we
The
end
cops.
up.
Let's talk about the cops.
Yeah, in the middle of all this, it cuts to a scene. A cop car pulls up in the rain. There's a cop standing out front waving people down. 2 police officers get out, 2 detectives.
One of them played by, was it the gaffer?
The one
A lot of people shared double duty on this
They
movie,
did
according to
indeed.
the credits. At least they had a sense of humor in the credits.
What was
But,
his
yeah.
name? Ram or who's
Yargen?
Yargen.
Yargen.
Ram.
Jurgen Ram or
Ram.
something. Yeah, Jurgen. Yeah, the 2 police officers get out and explain that they
Which is weird. It's a father-daughter policeman combo, but they look like they're the same
No,
age.
no. She calls him dad because he's old.
Yeah.
It's like, I wasn't there, Dad. Like, you're old.
Yeah.
so I'm
I
gonna call
took
you
it that dad was his. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
what
thought
the
it was
fuck?
like-
There's a lot of confusing daughter-father stuff going on because we had earlier in the movie
Yeah, the
where
boyfriend.
The boyfriend, Colin was like, "Wait, I thought that was her dad."
Yeah, because she goes, Dad. she goes, Daddy.
But I think his name was
His name was Eddie,
Eddie,
Yeah, so-
and
but
you
it
thought it
sounds
sounded like Daddy. Yeah,
who never made another appearance.
It sounds very similar. Yeah, but that guy had to be like, I mean, like, because you're thinking, like, these are, I don't think, professional actors, right?
can't be.
And he's in the credits because at the beginning, like, they're mentioning everybody, and then it's like, and Mike so and so as Eddie, and you're like, well, he must have like, some role
Yeah.
here. This guy pulls up. The girls get out of the truck, and he's like, "Okay, babe, I'll see you later." She comes over, and then whatever. He gives him a kiss that lasts for like a minute and a half.
No movement, just 2 faces together.
Yeah, and I'm like, this guy had to be sitting there going like, if this is what acting is like, sign me up. I'm coming back for this every day.
Right?
This is the job for me going forward.
And then he probably never had another job.
Well, maybe. Yep. So the cops.
The cops.
They
They pull up to the other cop. They're in the rain. You infer through their dialogue that there was a disturbance call from somebody at the old Hochstetter place.
You know where that call came from? Came from the old
Inside
Hochstetter
the
place.
house.
I never told you this, but there was a terrible murder that happened there, and the guy, we caught him. No, he's dead. No, we don't know if he's dead or not. He may still be alive.
He's dead, but we suspect that the neighbor across the street had something to do with the murders as well, but I could never pin it on him.
So we're trying to figure out where the call came from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there was no
There's
working
no
phone in the house.
working phone, which
Well, it was later on. There's a phantom phone call, so I'm
Yes.
thinking it's like a phantom phone call that originally called.
We're going to have to double back to the Ouija board segment here, which may...
Because the phantom call
add
is
some kind of
true.
light to this or
oh,
not.
that's true.
Shed some light on it or not. Okay, so we try to map out like what exactly the cops' plot line was. They receive a distress call from the house that something's going on. We got to get over there. They try to drive there in the storm and rain, but the bridge is out.
Fortunately, there's a cop protecting the construction site for some reason.
Well, I mean,
You wouldn't want to just drive through all that and go over a bridge.
Exactly.
Sure.
This is what they do. Cops are out to help everybody.
Clearly.
So they basically turn around and drive off to a strip club where this girl named Candy is performing. And Candy, it turns out, is the sole survivor of the original massacre, but we're not sure
her
she
and her
was
sister.
actually in the other movie.
Yeah.
Which movie?
I don't
Sorority
think she was in
House
Slumber.
Massacre or
Slumber Party
Slumber
Massacre?
I don't think she was in either. Maybe
Okay.
she was in the Slumber. I don't think she was in either.
Right. Okay.
Just in
But
this
she
one.
gets to do her strip club or routine, like
Yes.
Her
on the
full
pole.
routine.
Her pole routine, the full thing.
The
Pole.
pole routine, yeah.
And then she has to come down and talk to the cops. So another girl gets to come out and dance on the stage. So I mean, like they're trying to keep your interest. Up.
Yes.
Yeah, they show her just long enough for her to take her shirt off and then find out what Candy has
Yes.
to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, expertly done.
Exactly.
Well staged. Well staged.
And then, so what do they find out there? What pertinent information did Candy give them?
Nothing. I mean,
Nothing.
they go there to question Candy again about the murders because the cop really wants to get Ketchum.
Yeah,
Do you
he's like,
remember Ketchum ever being there? Think hard.
he could have been.
Like, no, but now that you mention it,
He
He
across
was
the
never
street.
once.
he
but
was
now that you
wandering
mention it,
around the neighborhood.
He does live in a house.
Yeah.
That's as far as that went.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Candy.
Very
We're gonna
productive
leave now.
scene.
And they leave, and they go to
That's it.
That's
until-
it.
Then they
That's
show
it.
up in the morning.
That's it until they show up with a
That's it,
SWAT
yeah.
team.
Yeah,
It was a pivotal plot point.
yeah.
But without his partner at the end there.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
That's
just
right.
him.
Yeah. Loses the partner.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she must have been just contracted for
It was
the
really
strip
early.
club scene.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, so all right, so then we got to double back to the Ouija board
Ah, yes.
sequence.
So after they've all
After they've
got
all
ready-
changed
they've changed for bed.
into something more comfortable,
Yeah.
Indeed, that was
That's
comfortable.
how
Thongs.
that's how it works.
naturally.
It
That's
looks
how it
much more
works.
comfortable.
No.
Hey, that's how I picture
There wasn't
it.
one of them that just like, you know what, I like to sleep naked. Not
No.
one of those girls.
I was disappointed. There's a little bit of a missing opportunity.
Sure.
So they.
Do you want me to tell you what they would actually be wearing, or should
No,
we skip over that?
no.
Okay,
No,
just thought I'd throw it out there.
We're not doing
This is a
it.
place-
Just thought I'd
this is
throw
a
it out there.
This is a happy place. This is a nice place.
You're
And
safe,
we want,
Sean.
we want to keep it that way.
You're safe here. It's
It's a safe
okay.
place. Ouija board.
the Ouija board.
We'll get there.
They try to summon because, of course, you do. If you're in a house where one of the girls, not Squeaky, not Jiggly, not Thigh Gap, which one
Not
is it?
British.
Not
Not
She
British.
was like
Was she
Australian,
Australian?
or something.
she
It was
is
a
British.
weird
I looked it up.
accent.
She's British. Gail
Okay.
Harris. She's British.
Very strange accent.
Yeah.
It's a little
But
cockney, or-
one of them knows about the history of the house.
Jeannie.
The one that purchased the house for
Jeannie.
the sorority.
There's Jeannie, Kim, Susie, Linda,
So that's
Jessica.
and Jessica.
Listener, you may get the idea that we are just trying to figure this damn thing out as we're talking about it. It's very true. Hopefully, maybe you already have it figured out, or we're shedding light on this as we work this thing out.
Mhm.
Okay, so Jeannie
Yes.
with the dark hair
Jeannie with the dark brown hair.
suggests the seance at the Ouija board that we're going to try and summon Hofstadter.
Hochstadter.
Yeah.
Hoffmansters.
The killer.
Yeah, that guy.
All right, so I remember it's the standard Ouija board stuff.
Right.
The planchette starts flying all over the
I'm not
place.
moving it. Are you moving it? I'm not moving it.
I
Yeah.
swear.
Typical. Yeah.
Also, the best line delivery in a movie I have seen
Fantastic.
in a long time. Every cliche line that was ever written ever is in this movie. And it's
Such
wonderful.
Get a room.
Yeah.
You
Those
guys
two
get
should
a
get a
room.
A room. Give me a break. Everything in between.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
shut
acting.
up.
Oh my God, the acting. We should have looked up. You should have found out if any of these people worked together. Wynorski probably hired them for something.
I
else.
think he hired a few of them directly to in Hard to Die. A few of the characters show up again, along with
okay.
Orville Ketchum.
My brother did confirm at least a couple of them are porn stars that he's heard of. So
sure.
There you go.
I think their career did go in some direction.
Like to actual hardcore porn or like Playboy hustler type stuff.
I didn't ask
Yes.
my brother that.
Yes.
Mr. Skin.
So
Ouija board.
What they
Back
get
to the
out of the
Ouija board.
Ouija board? I just remember
They got a name. They got a name.
Oh, that's right. Colin shows up.
Colin!
Significance of this spirit?
Colon. Ew.
Colin.
What a horrible joke.
Yeah. What was the significance of that character?
I don't think there was one.
Yeah,
Yeah, did
It's
they
just a name.
did they say why? it was
Somehow
Colin?
they need a guide to
They
take
need a
them
guide.
into the spirit
Yes.
world?
Yes.
Like a spirit guide to connect
Yes.
them to
So
the
they need
other
to
spirit.
contact a spirit before they can contact a spirit. Is basically what they're doing. And Colin is their
I don't
spirit guide.
get that at all. But,
No.
Hey man, what do you know about Ouijas?
hey, man, whose name was it?
Hey.
Boom.
They
So-
needed you, Colin.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, a lot of scantily
This movie
clad
was calling for you, yes.
Scantily
you know,
clad Ouija. By the
sorority
way,
sisters do.
if there's any sororities listening out there in the podcast, please
Right.
send pictures
Yeah.
to
Saturday Night Freak Show at yahoo.com.
You're gonna get 50 pictures of a Ouija board. You know that, right?
Yeah, well,
So the Ouija board.
so
Back to the
Ouija
Ouija
board, they summon Hofstadter. Does he talk to them at that point? I don't think he does. They say they want to talk to Hofstadter, and Colin throws the planchette into the fireplace where it explodes.
Yes.
Then they go to bed.
And that was explained by science.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah, the
maybe
lightning. The lightning.
The lightning. Yeah, there was an electrical charge or something.
Science.
Yeah.
Science.
You don't actually see this
debunked.
happen, but Yeah, maybe the house was hit by lightning and the charge. Well, there is a lot of stock lightning shots in this movie.
There are.
I think I've seen used before.
Yes,
by
those have been in other
Wynorski.
movies. Probably a Dracula movie somewhere.
Every transition shot was lightning.
Yeah.
So then they go to bed, as you do. They all, have their own sleeping bags.
And tickle plate.
There was a tickle fight and there was a massage that took place.
There was a massage.
Which I was very disappointed by
Great.
because one of them blew it and said that she had slept with the other girl's boyfriend.
Before that, we
They
got
just
the greatest
ruined everything.
massage sound effect in cinema history,
Oh,
where she's pushing on her and then
Bag of chips. Nope.
like a break of some sort. Like she
And
broke her
she's like-
bone.
Oh, yeah, that right in there.
It
Yeah.
She's
sounds
like, "Oh, you
somebody
got it."
crunched on a chip. That was it. She
Yeah.
got it.
Broke something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they end up fighting.
Yeah.
Would you guys be happy to know that sometimes massages do happen at slumber parties?
Okay.
All
right.
You're welcome.
Bounce.
You're welcome, friends.
Oh, got quiet.
Yeah.
Pondering that.
I'll take it from here.
All right.
So,
So Susie is like, yeah, I'm
which one's
dating
Susie?
Bill.
What's her name? Susie?
Susie, yeah.
Squeaky?
Susie
no.
Susie was the one with the shoulder pads. The short
Oh,
one.
the Australian?
No, this really short one. The one we were looking at him
She was
compared to the other girl.
Australian.
That was Squeaky.
That was Susie.
God damn it. We
The
don't.
one with the squeaky nipples.
No,
She
that
wasn't
was
squeaky nipples.
Kim.
That was
Kimberly.
the one that looked like Laura Dern.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
She was
kind of
the one
looked
that
like
looked-
Laura Dern. Laura Dern
The
was Kim.
bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
Kim.
You're
Yeah.
right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Susie's the one who's like, I'm dating Bill now. But wait, Bill, me and Bill had a thing, and
Yeah.
what's it?
She's massaging her and basically tells her she fucked her boyfriend.
Yeah. What did I do wrong?
What'd I do wrong?
I didn't mean it.
So
So then
yeah.
Jeannie is all disturbed by this, and she's like,
I need
"Where's
a
that bottle of
drink.
tequila?"
Yeah.
Why? Because I need a drink. Slam. She goes down to the kitchen and has the most posed drinking scene I have ever seen in my life. She's
Yeah.
like sexily leaning against the bar, taking like sensual swills from the tequila bottle.
Mhm.
It's
Like
something.
4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 pulls. Like pull, wait, swallow, pull.
It's like, I want you to look sexy while you do this.
Yeah.
Nope.
And boy, did she try.
The idea that you're just going to
Yeah.
use one of these in the editing, but
Right, yeah.
this guy just used
Through
the
her
whole all
lacy
takes.
see-through.
That's a teddy, right?
No.
No? What's a teddy?
Which one was wearing a teddy?
A teddy.
The black thing.
A teddy is more of like a flowy one.
Is that what the pink one was?
Yeah.
The pink one was kind of, but that was kind of a jumper because it was like one piece with shorts. So it was more of a romper.
Okay.
A
Romper.
romper, jumper, and a teddy. All right. then.
No, I don't think anyone were wearing a teddy.
Damn it all to hell. Okay.
It was just kind of a. It was more like a unitard kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was one piece, see through thong.
Thong back.
Yes.
What
Giggity.
the thing we all wear to bed, naturally.
Yeah. So this is where our first murder scene happens. We
Yeah.
don't see the assailant.
No.
It's somebody with a hook.
And a black gloved hand.
Yep. Comes in and slashes poor
Pulls her across
Penelope.
the open bar. The
Janet?
open counter.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Damn it, Janet.
Or Janie. Janie.
and that's where we get the squirt of the
This-
ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
all
up
over
and
the
down.
wall, which isn't there for the rest of the movie.
It's clean.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because multiple characters come downstairs after this, and the kitchen is completely clean.
Except for the bottle that's smashed on the carpet.
Yeah.
Semantics.
So we're thinking at this point, or we're supposed to think. Oh, wait, you're with us on this, right? Aren't you, listener? That at this point, there's this. We keep cutting to outside the house, where Ketchum, Orville Ketchum, in his plaid, is heavy breathing, and always stepping into frame and looking through windows and basically looking like a zombie. It
Constantly
completely emotive.
creeping. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's something about because he has his mouth open all the time and you can see his teeth. Yeah, it just kind of well, personal thing. So yeah, so did Orville Ketchum sneak in at this point and stab this poor woman to death with a hook?
Maybe.
And why a hook, Sean?
I mean, because that's what you did back in the day. That was your that's what you did. You had a
It's
hook.
the quintessential scary story.
No other reason than there were a bunch of hooks in the basement. That's it.
Yeah,
Just thought, hey, this looks cool. Let's have him get killed with a
the
hook.
first movie had a driller killer.
First movie had a driller killer.
It's a step down.
Yeah.
the other first killer, I think, just used knives. And this,
in the sorority.
Yeah.
One, it was just a knife.
Well, what's a good like sorority? Like if you were to remake this movie, what would you?
Corkscrew for wine bottles and shit.
Yeah,
Mm.
because they're laying around all over sororities.
Well, you know
That's
it.
like a drill and a knife put together.
Can you
That's
get an
the best of
automatic
course.
one? The rabbit.
I'm
You ever
sorry.
seen
That's-
anything? The
Yeah.
rabbit, it like grabs onto the wine bottle and
It wasn't the rabbit I was thinking of.
No.
drills down into the thing.
That's
We
not.
got- Yeah, it
that's
drills
not-
down into the
it
thing. It-
drills
it-
down
yeah,
into it.
that's-
That's not the
that's-
rabbit I was
got the
thinking of.
Swingful,
Yeah.
wine bottle opener.
I would
it's
love
like
to see
a
the movie where
Y,
they get killed with that, though.
and then you
Like their heads
push it
explode from
together,
pleasure.
and the drill and the spinner goes straight down.
10-minute
and then
long
you
death scenes.
Pull it back like that, and it pops right out.
Yeah, but is it like? Does it is it automatic? Like does it, the auger? Does it
Mhm.
like battery operated or
Well, it's
whatever?
not battery operated.
The
It's once
auger.
you move the arms down, it shoots right down into it.
You can kill someone with
Are we
that.
still talking
Yeah.
about the rabbit?
See, my automatic one, you just like stick it on there.
Wait. Are you talking
Done.
about a wine
Yeah,
bottle
That's some
Over.
seriousness.
or
See,
whatever?
now they catch up.
Yeah.
Now they're
Well,
there.
which story do you want?
Which,
Mine, my wine bottle opener from Food Network.
All right. So in quick succession, then who gets?
Jeannie's first. Who's next? Who's this? I think Susie's the
The
next
bear
one.
trap.
Bear trap. There's a
Bear
bear
trap.
trap.
Bear trap.
There's a bear trap in the
attic.
They go up to the attic to check
That's
it out.
armed and ready to
these
catch.
Are, I mean, what? Ketchum left those up there because they've got a mice problem.
A mouse
Yeah.
and a bear trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
New York rats have made their way to.
probably. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
That's the only reason I can explain a bear trap in the attic of this place. It would catch mice.
Okay.
Maybe it's part of the S&M chamber upstairs. Pain, severe pain.
We're gonna break
We've
legs.
gone
and then
past
fuck.
whips. We're just going
Yeah.
to bear traps now.
All right.
It could be a thing. I'm sure it's a thing.
I didn't see that in 50 Shades.
Oh, no.
No.
Wasn't in the red room.
Saving that for the sequel.
Oh.
I don't even remember how she gets killed.
She gets bear trap.
bear trap, and then he just drags her away.
That's right. She's screaming for like 10
Yeah.
minutes
Right.
and no one else in the house. Even
And this
though they've
house is
all-
not big, by the
They've
way.
all split up so they can find the first girl for a reason I don't recall or understand.
keep
Like, we
splitting up.
have to go find Jenny. Why? Aren't we all supposed to be sleeping? Whatever. We got to go find her. So they split up. Two girls go up to the attic. One leaves.
Two girls
and
go-
she gets caught in the bear trap, or she goes up to the attic, gets caught in the bear trap, screams bloody murder because her leg's fucking broken, and then no one hears this. But the killer shows up, grabs her, drags her off.
and kills
and-
her in shadow because you only see the shadow
Mhm.
killing. Yes. Yeah, two of them
Yeah.
go up. She dies. Then more searching of the house. We have Linda,
Mhm.
who's walking around. Who else? Linda, Jessica, and Kim is still, they're hanging out.
Okay, so at this point, somewhere around here, again, going back to my theory that you have to add this element of boobage to the movie because, again, we had the full nudity, we had the strip club nudity. Like, what are we going to do at this point? Because now we're into the plot. We're heading toward the final stretch.
Wet t-shirt contest.
We got to
Oh,
send them
right.
outside in a fucking rainstorm.
They all, the three remaining freak out. They find the bodies in the basement because they went down to the basement to check it out again. They find Jeannie and Susie hanging from, the rafters,
A
bleeding.
great scene where the Aussie,
The Brit
the Brit,
screams
like,
like bad.
yeah,
She's
it's
not
like
a
when
good
she
screamer.
like the
She's
drips
like-
of blood coming, dropping on her. She's like, "Oh, what, the pipes are leaking." She looks up, shines a flashlight. There's bodies hanging there, and then she sits underneath like this torrent of blood.
It's
just-
going in her mouth, and she's screaming. And she just stands there.
Not a
and
high pitched
just-
screamer.
Not
Just-
at all.
So they
Glorious.
Yeah, it really was. It gets her all bloody, and they run up to the kitchen and they're freaking out because their friends are dead, and they're just grabbing.
Oh, they
the
were
big-
saying something, I think, before they went out in the rain or something, where I actually thought like they were gonna say like, oh, because they have to leave, and they said something about their clothes are in the.
Yes, our clothes are still upstairs.
Yeah, and I was thinking, well, your clothes are dirty now with blood. You got to take those off in order to. Was that just me? Well, maybe I was just thinking
That seems more into parody, where they'd be like, "Oh, I've gotten bloody."
In this movie, I don't think you have to push too far. For this.
There's a thin line, my friend,
Yeah.
and they weren't going to cross it. They
guess
have
not.
some class, okay? Give them a little bit. Give them a little bit of leeway on that.
Yeah. So they run outside into the torrential rain.
With
where
huge
I
butter
swear
knives.
to God, there is a gutter that has broken or something. We don't see this, but there is like a downspout aimed right at one of the girls' heads. Because you could just clearly see
She's drowning.
Yeah, she's drowning. But they stop because they're in the
50
flicker
miles away.
of the storm, the lightning. You can see Orville Ketchum standing across the street.
Staring. And they won't chance it because they don't think they can outrun him.
This is three girls armed with these are like machete knives.
They really are. And they won't chance it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity to leave in this movie. Like, they could just run out the front door, especially when later on, after they freak out and are drenched from the wet t-shirt contest and go back inside.
Because they did run out the front door, but Orville
was there.
He was there,
And then
shuffling towards them like a 79-year-old man.
It was like an Austin Powers joke at that point.
Yeah.
Or a Deadpool joke at this point. You're gonna die in like 5 minutes. They run back inside and they're freaking out and they're just hearing all the sounds from outside.
Because he's just tapping on the windows.
Right, he's just pounding on stuff, walking around in the
Yeah.
windows and everything, and they hear like clanking, and they're like, "It's the gut. He's shimmering the fountain thing, the gutter.
He's climbing up the drain
He's
pipe.
climbing the drain pipe.
Because that 400-pound man is shimmying up the dream pipe.
Hey, whoa. He was 300 pounds according to the cops.
True.
300 pounds.
Sorry.
But
You
instead,
could totally shimmy that. No.
instead of letting him shimmy up and running away, they go upstairs because I didn't lock the windows. He could get in. So upstairs they go, giving us one of a couple gratuitous shots of the scantily clad women.
Because they made sure to keep the camera rolling, so each one of them ran up the stairs.
They each all had their scene going up the stairs.
Man.
And to make sure to get that, because again, like you said, you've got to keep them interested at this point.
Yep.
Put them in the rain, get them wet.
My
Show 'em
interest
going up
was
the stairs.
piqued.
Is that what interest? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so all three of them get up there. Then for some reason, because they see that there's wet footprints on the floor.
Yes.
So now they have to split up again.
Well, they make the joke like, that's when they see the chamber and all the S&M stuff. And they're like, Hochstetter must have been beating it in here, I think was the thing, or must have had a good time beating it in here. Spanking in here. And Jessica turns to them and looks at them.
Kimberly.
And goes, no, Jessica. Jessica's the one who turns and goes, yes, he did.
Oh, that Kimberly was the Laura Dern-looking one.
Yes, Kimberly was the short-haired
It
Laura.
was a
Dern.
very odd line reading because I took it as like, so she's been here before?
She's possessed.
Yeah,
She is possessed at that point.
I know, yeah.
It was a very knowing,
That was the
confusing.
giveaway,
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, yes.
Like,
he
where are they
has.
going with this?
Actually, no, there was something else that tipped me off. It was earlier.
It's when they're laying in the sleeping bags.
No, there was a scene. Well, maybe it was for you. For me, there was a scene where I think Orville is coming through a door. He's like busting through a door. No, there was something before that. It was like you see him, like, and they show him, but then and then that girl runs into a room and gets killed by someone with the hook, and you don't see, like, they purposely don't show you who that character is. And it's like, oh, okay, you're trying to hide that.
Right.
This guy Orville's going to end up being like trying to.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. He's actually trying to save them, but he's not mobile. He's mute.
He's not
apparently,
articulate. Yeah.
except when he's yelling in Kimberly's face.
Kimberly!
Kimberly!
Yeah.
It scares the shit out of her.
Like, use your words, Orville.
That's
So it
what-
does turn out that dear Erica. Not Kimberly. Kimberly's
Dear
dead in the,
Svetlana,
Kimberly's dead in the bathtub, right?
Kimberly gets killed in the bathtub
Because they
yes.
split up. Because she's like,
Right.
you have to stay. up
Jessica's
here.
like, you stay here. I will go find her.
yeah,
and
stay
help
up
her.
in the attic by yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
So Linda stays up there, and
I
then
thought it was Jessica.
Jessica.
Confused.
Christ.
No, Jessica's the one who turned and said, "Yes, he has."
Mm.
She was the second one in the shower.
She's
That
the
should help
one
you.
who's possessed by
Yes.
the spirit of Orville Keckenmeyer.
Yes. Indeed.
I feel like our confusion is not far from how it was probably on the set.
Lester Hoffenstetter.
George Cocknocker.
Welfer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wait, she goes, they leave. Linda stays up in the attic, and that's when I think Orville makes his appearance in the house and goes into the attic as Linda's hiding behind the boxes and everything, as you know,
With her machete.
With her machete, as Orville kind of Frankensteins his way through the thing, like
Yeah.
dum, dum, just.
Yeah. So she does what any sane, rational person would do and stabs
the shit
fuck
out of him. Yes.
Yeah. So he goes down. And she's like, okay, I did it. I killed him. She wanders down, like, I got to find my friend. You know, it's okay. He's dead. But then, it's possessed. Jessica.
No, you missed it.
What?
She like stabs him and he's dead, and then she's like, "Oh, it's safe." And she goes to walk by him, and he
He
grabs
grabs
her,
her,
and they
yeah.
and it goes into a wrestling, and she pulls a chain out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and just like strangles him some more.
It's part of the S&M
Yeah, it's part of the
bundle.
S&M
Yeah.
thing
I'm pretty
out
sure
there.
there's like a crack or something else, and it's just
Yeah.
like more sound effects, and then he's out again,
Yeah.
and then she wanders downstairs to look for Kimberly and Jessica wherever they may have gone.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
Oh, you're welcome. There was a second attack. You can't forget that.
Well, if
But-
we do all of the attacks on this, we're going to be
I
here
mean,
for a lot longer.
This
than-
guy does not die.
No,
He does not die.
he does not. We're missing one also in between
This
all of
guy
that.
is the Mike Myers of this movie.
Kimberly was chased into the bathroom, and then the hook is busting through the door to get her, and then it opens up, and you just see the POV of her, and blackness covers her, which it looked like somebody just covered a light
Mhm.
and hung out there.
Yeah.
Then we cut back up to
It
Linda.
was probably Jurgen.
Jurgen, yes, he was the gaffer. Linda comes down, limping and everything, looking for her. She wanders in the bathroom, finds Kim, because nobody at this point like cares if there's blood splattered everywhere or a pool full of blood. They have to investigate everything. They won't just run out of the house and get away.
Right.
They don't want to do that. So she gets. Kim would have. How long can she hold her breath when she's like half dead? Like she was in that
Yeah.
tub for
She's
a
half
while.
dead. Oh, yeah, that's right.
She
jumped up.
she
Oh,
jumps
yeah.
out.
It was
and
a
goes-
death rattle.
Yeah, she jumps out
And
and,
she
she's
lost
been
her
stripped.
clothes
Yeah,
at
she's
some
been stripped
point.
naked at this point.
Well, they probably just dissolved in the blood.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So-
They dissolve. That's how
I
they
mean,
do.
those
Like they're
were-
edible. They're like edible underwear. That's what she was wearing the whole time.
Yeah.
She
The
was just
rain-
like, these are nice satin. I'm going to take these off first.
Yeah,
now
we
you
need to-
can stab me.
Yeah, this is my because they shot that scene like first, and they're like, we can't damage the the goods, the wardrobe, as it were.
Uh-huh.
So we'll have to take
Satin's
this off.
not
You'll have
cheap.
to be naked.
Clearly
again.
not the
We
other
can't
girl
afford dry
got
cleaning.
Blood just everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, but she death rattles out of the tub, and she
Is-
goes, Jessica.
Yeah.
And then falls back in.
and every time
she's
they
dead.
show Aussie girl, she has more blood on her shirt.
Mhm.
From nowhere.
Yeah.
From nowhere. It's just phantom blood.
Well,
Indeed.
More and more.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Because at this point now, you can't have boobs anymore. You just have more and more bodily fluid, blood all over the
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's revealed that Jessica has been possessed by the killer, and she's been
Mm-hmm.
actually killing everyone off.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
called me here.
yeah. And Orville has actually been trying to save the girls this whole time.
I won't let you
Surprise.
do it again, Hockstatter.
And they
couldn't do it
They get into a
Before.
stabby match. Yeah, couldn't do it before. But I'm gonna stop you now. And then he like stabs her
Yeah.
5 times as she stands there like this with the hook.
And it's
doing
very
nothing.
polite. Like, I'm going to stab you. Now you stab me. Like, it's very.
All right, no, you do me. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Good form.
There's a lot of people waiting for their cues. And
There,
Oh,
there
yeah.
is, there really is.
Is it my line? My line? Okay, go.
Right, or somebody,
Wait, is there going to
somebody,
be a lightning strike here? I'm going to pause. Lightning strike. And that's what I meant. Yeah.
somebody,
They're like in freeze mode.
yeah,
and then
somebody
they act.
added a line at one point. I think one of the cops was talking, and he went and ad-libbed a line because you could hear the other detective. She was starting to say,
Oh,
her.
yeah.
She was like,
So,
I was like, he said too
South
much.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I want to, if I remember correctly, so after this, in the morning, like the cops barge in, SWAT teams are
Yes.
This is taking them like the entire night to navigate their way through the city because the
Right.
bridge was
Oh,
out.
wait. Yeah, no. The reason they show up at all is because the mover has showed up.
yes. The
He
mover showed
found
up.
them. The mover found
the mover
them.
found them.
Yes.
And then he went and got the police. They weren't going to come on their own.
No.
He had to go get them.
That's why.
That's right.
That explains the
Yeah.
SWAT team. It's like, I
Yeah.
found dead bodies. Come.
That's right. The mover, who was also the gaffer. No, the mover.
He was the music. He was the music. He was the music director.
He
Yeah.
composed the songs for
he
the
did
movie.
all the songs, which were great.
Yeah. But then it turns out that Jessica is. Wait, no. Orville is not dead. He gets back up because.
Yeah.
What's her name?
The one with the bad
got it?
accent. Yeah.
Jessica? No.
No,
Linda.
Jessica's dead.
You
Linda
got
is
it.
now.
No, Brittany.
I don't.
Brittany jumps up and now she's been possessed.
She's British. Brittany. I like it. Let's go with that.
And
She
so-
gives the best possessed laugh I have ever heard.
That. Yeah.
It's the weirdest giggle, like
It
because
was
you can
like
tell.
borderline Peter Griffin.
Yeah, it was. It was, but you could tell that they used their real voices and just modulated them in post.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she was doing some weird giggle of her own, which made it sound even better when it was slowed down and all.
It wasn't even maniacal. It was like
No.
a drunk guy.
It really was.
Yeah.
So she's possessed, and then Orville jumps up and grabs the detective's gun and just shoots her like 5 times, and she flies backwards into the pile of rubbish and what have you.
And then the cops like shoot the living shit
Right.
out of Orville. But
Like
then,
they shoot their shotguns like 12 times. They
Yeah.
only hit him twice, but they shoot him like 12 times.
Yeah, and he's down, and then the cops are like, "Wait, somebody call the ambulance." At which point I'm like, "Oh, of course you call the ambulance for
you-
the
you-
fucking dead guy."
You did it wrong. It wasn't somebody call the ambulance. It was somebody call the ambulance. This man's still alive.
Well, yeah, I was getting there. Well, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the delivery was spot on, Sean.
I mean, it's a pretty good joke because this guy is like the unkillable Michael Myers.
He really
of
is,
the
but he's
movie.
not the killer. That's what's great.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
won't die, but he's not the killer.
He's
Yeah.
just the creepy guy across the street that eats raw meat.
He's wrong. Oh boy.
That's it.
And has newspaper clippings of Elvis being alive.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Which was
Murders, stabbings, murders, Elvis.
It even says Slumber Party
What?
Massacre in one of
Yeah.
the paper headlines. I noticed.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're tying that
7
together.
die in Slumber Party Massacre or
Yep.
something like that.
Elvis
Yeah.
lives, but he gets shot, and then he's like, he's still alive. And then his eyes are open, and he's looking around, and then the end.
Question mark.
I stole that for a short film that I did in school. I think at the end of one of my things, it was, the end, and then in comes the question mark.
Can you find this movie like on video now, or is this strictly like a YouTube
No, there are-
post VHS era lost to time?
No, where we're at with
You
this
said it was
series,
on like a collection.
it is. I think they're both out of print. I think the last time they were released was 2003.
Mm.
But those DVD collections do exist. The series has left off at the actual Slumber Party Massacre 3, or Sorority House Massacre 3 was shot in like 2007. But
Why wait so long?
well, I don't know. But then Corman's company folded, his production company. And so that movie is complete and shot and it's ready to go, but has not been released.
And let's face it, it's never gonna.
Oh God, I hope so one day.
You can-
Directed by what the fuck?
You can get it on
Jim
Amazon.
Wynorski?
Jim Wynorski.
What?
You can get it on Amazon.
The third one? Well, no, but is it the third one or is it the
Sorority House Massacre II on DVD or the Slumber Party Massacre Collection.
Yeah.
How many movies does that have on it?
2 men.
4?
Let me find it.
Sorority House 1 and 2 and Slumber Party 1 and 2?
No, I think it's like Slumber Party 1 and then the Sorority House Massacres. I think that was the release in
Interesting.
2003. But yeah, you can find them out there somewhere, but the best place is probably just YouTube.
Yeah.
That is where this movie lives. Until
do you-
Scream Factory releases the Blu-ray one
Right.
glorious day. One glorious, glorious day.
But do you need to own this collection, listener? Well, stick with us, and we'll tell you in our final thoughts and wrap-ups after we deal with Igor in our mailbag. Igor, where are you?
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor.
Igor breathes like Orville Ketchum. Have you noticed that? He's
Well,
got
he
that
eats-
lumbering.
Well, he eats raw meat, so.
He does. Is Igor Orville Ketchum?
Travis says if Igor hasn't finished his plate by the time he returns to the basement, tell him he'll go back to eating his soup with a fork. All right.
Oh,
great.
So,
Can you lengthen that silence in post? Can we get that longer? I want at least 10 seconds. Crickets, if we can.
all right. So, again, you can go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Saturday Night Freak Show and leave us a comment. We'll read it on the air. For Slumber House, Jesus. So,
As you can
Sorority
tell,
House,
we'll read anything on the air.
yeah, Sorority House Massacre. Bobette Georgie writes in,
Bobette, how you doing?
judging from all the boobage and lingerie in the photo that we posted, I can't imagine why it is one of Sean's favorites.
Oh, thank you.
And Travis writes his wrap up from Beyond the Pod.
Oh.
He says, so last night I had a double feature of Sorority House Massacre 1 and 2, and
Ooh.
boy, is my brain tired. First, the opening flashback.
So is his hand.
Wicked burn.
Ow! Thank you. Shut it down. Turn off the recording now. It
Drop
ain't
the
better.
mic. Podcast over.
So he says, first, the opening flashback in part 2 from the first Slumber Party Massacre threw
Yeah.
me for a loop. I had to stop to be sure I wasn't watching Slumber Party Massacre 2, especially when Orville looks at newspapers that say Slumber Party Massacre.
Yep.
All in all, watching this made me feel like Orville Ketchum looks a little grungy. Oh, all in all, watching this makes me feel like Orville Ketchum looks a little grungy.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
This movie makes Friday the 13th Part 5 look classy.
Oh,
I
damn.
can't in good conscience recommend this. Conscience. Recommended. All right. Well, thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
I'm sure he'll be back next week.
Yes, we laughed at your joke off the air, Travis. I just want to say that.
There you go.
We did. Yeah.
Okay, so that we're all going to go around the room
that
and
leaves
do,
it
and do
to
wrap-ups.
wrap-ups, and the first 4 wrap-ups is Colin.
Well, I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, can you recommend this movie to another person?
That is the very basic question we ask here.
Yeah, because I did have fun watching it. It in the level of like it's a mystery science theater movie, right? I mean, it's got enough. I mean, really, the nudity does become like what you're really looking at it for, because the slasher part of it, which is I guess the other half of the slasher movie coin, is like gory deaths and bare breasts. We got a lot of bare breasts. We got very few gory deaths, or nothing. No. I guess makeup effects really to write home about.
I like that. Gory deaths and bare breasts. My life
And-
growing up in a
and-
video store.
And some gory breasts.
And some
And
gory,
gory
breasts. You
Wait,
tried
extra
that
points?
once with Ilsa, and I'm not for that. I don't want gory breasts.
I thought that was one of the lesbian vampire movies.
No, Ilsa was the one where it was like nudity and hardcore like pain. And it was just like, they're combining two things that don't taste good together. Just chocolate and peanut butter, these are not.
But yeah, the acting is beyond terrible. But I think almost, it's they're aware of it. No, the filmmakers are. They didn't care. They didn't care.
That's why they put the gaffer in the movie.
Yeah, I mean the credits are full of fake names. I don't
It's
remember
wonderful. Stay and watch the credits for this movie. It's wonderful.
Yeah, no girls were harmed
or mistreated
in the making of this film. Instead of the animal, the Humane Society thing. And there's just goofy names and stuff all the way through it. The credits. I don't think it was good, and I can't recommend it to just like Joe Schmo. It's like the collective group watch of this. If you're gonna have friends over and you're watching a movie, and I mean whatever your party favor of choice is. It may help, but it can be a lot of fun, but it's in no way a good movie. I mean, I don't think I would recommend it. I'm going to say no. It's just, it's bad. It's a bad movie, but it's a bad movie that, like I said, has a certain self-awareness, through some of the jokes and stuff. So, I mean, which goes toward comedy. So it's like a kind of it doesn't feel like a comedy, but
not at all.
It does have these moments. So Yeah, I don't know. It's not as bad as the Return of the Killer Tomatoes
The tomato scale.
or Monster in the Closet.
You shut
But
your damn horse
it's
mouth.
somewhere orbiting those stars. So
It's in that universe. It's
Yeah.
in there.
I'm gonna pass on that. Pass a recommendation.
I've seen some real winners down here in the freak show basement.
And now you've seen another.
You know, and I was Sharknado down here.
You poor
Oh,
bastard.
damn. And he also watched that movie.
And
Oh.
You're on fire, Sean.
Just sink and freeze.
and I was subjected to Con Air, which was the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie was had nothing to do with the first sorority, and you know,
Is that a bad
you
thing?
That's not a bad thing.
No, first one's terrible.
no,
Terrible.
I don't mind the first one.
You should.
It's way better than what this movie is as
Really?
a slasher type movie. Yeah.
Like it's a legitimate slasher?
It
Probably,
it took
yeah.
itself more serious than what this movie
Mm.
did.
Wait, Sorority House Massacre or Slumber Party?
Yeah,
Sorority
we have to
House
get that right.
Okay.
You know, where they went in knowing that they were trying to make a seriouser movie than what this movie was.
Mhm.
Like you brought up, Colin, there's what level of person are you going to, you know, offer this movie? You say, oh, this person needs to watch it. I'll tell you who needs to watch it. 13-year-old little boys. you have your mom take you to Target. You stop in the men's section and you get yourself a brand new pack of tube socks.
Whoa. You never use new socks. Even I know that.
Then you march over to the cosmetic section and you pick
You're
yourself up
buying
some
the new
Jergens.
ones to replace the old ones that you're going to use.
That makes more sense.
There we go. Okay, we figured.
Then
it
you go home and then you
out.
hit
We can
this up
stop
on
there. I think we get it. I know what's
We
happening.
don't have to go home with you.
No. We're gonna
Well,
stay here.
That's who
We're gonna
you
shop at Target.
That's the level of what this movie is. It's for pubescent boys looking to get their fill, you know, because even myself, you know, going to video outlet, seeing like these kind of covers of movies, that you know, 13-year-old boy, you're like, this is the movie I'm gonna rent. But yeah, I wouldn't be like just talking to somebody, you know, work, be like, oh, you really gotta see this movie. No way. No way.
Unless you know them. But what if they're the kind people that we're talking to, the freak show fan?
No. No. So I myself, I would pass on this movie. I will say though.
Do you want to? Should you want to say what you're about to say?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Should I take a step back?
The boobage was pretty good in this movie. I will give them on that one. But I'm passing on this movie.
What's like the Joe Bob Briggs review on this? There's like
5 boobs, 2.
There's more than 5.
Yeah.
because there's the 2 strippers.
Oh yeah, it was
7
it's
boobs.
4, it's just like 8 boobs. There's 5 girls. Is like there's 14 boobs. Then I was doing the math and then adding the other 2. No, I know.
Sean's
that
drunk.
5 times 2 is 12. So
Knife
we're good.
foo, hook
Yeah,
foo.
yeah, knife foo, hook foo.
5 times
Yeah.
2 is 12. Yeah.
One
That's-
hanging about
no
it.
severed
solid.
head. Yeah, okay, sorry. Golly.
Okay.
2
I have,
possessions.
I have a few things to say.
Oh, this is,
Oh, God.
She's going to take us to school now.
Okay, no. First of all, I'm going to have to disagree that a 13-year-old boy should see this movie. I understand where you're going with it. I have to disagree because 13-year-old boys should not think that those are the expectations of women.
Well, that is true.
That is not what women look like. That is not what women do. So I'm playing my feminist card and I'm putting it back in my pocket. Now, let's go.
Ruining dreams everywhere.
I'm sorry. 13-year-old boys, that's not how women are. Anyway.
It took me 17 years to figure that out.
Because you watched movies like this.
Because I watched it. Took me 20 years to figure that out.
All right. Femme card back in the pocket. I will say there was a couple things that we didn't touch on. The fact that this film was made in like a week.
Oh,
We didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It does. Everything shows in this movie.
Like,
But
who wrote this movie?
a person.
Do we don't know who wrote it?
Maybe. Henry something Wagoner. I don't know.
Regardless.
Yeah.
He wrote it in 3 days. In an interview, he said that he wrote it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, casted it on Friday. And then they spent the next 6 days the following week making the film. Film was made in a week. Now, I mean...
That's the Roger Corman way of doing movies. Just get it done. Get it out.
Yeah.
That considered, I think this was a fun movie. It was a feel-good time. I had fun. We all had fun. Yeah. I would say go for it. Watch it. It was fun. Just not 13-year-old boys.
Okay.
14-year-old.
14.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
we'll
close.
go
Un-
14.
Close to
If you have the correct view of what real women are,
Alright, it's
have fun with
rated
this movie.
R. You gotta
Sophisticated
be
14-year-old
17,
boys
right?
can watch this
17,
movie.
Yeah.
Sorority House Massacre II. I had so much fun watching this tonight. We went to the garage after this. I was smiling with joy at the
It was
fun I had
fun.
watching this movie. This was
fun.
Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, this movie was everything I remember and more. Now, is it a good movie? No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Terrible.
But it is. I mean, I think you have to. The optimal enjoyment of this movie is getting together with your friends and watching this movie. That experience it's wonderful, and for that, I wholeheartedly recommend this movie. This was all fun to me.
Don't show it. Freak show it.
Don't show it. You freak show it.
That's right.
And you freak show the shit out of this movie because, damn it, I had fun and I was back to being a 13-year-old boy. I have learned my lessons, Holly. I know.
I know your
But-
wife. I know you have.
But for one night, I went back to being a 13-year-old boy, mostly. And
Sean, I was a 13-year-old boy tonight. I get
That's
it.
true,
I
that's
get
true.
it.
And I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I think, get together with friends and watch this movie. That's the best way to enjoy it and go for it. And God be with you as you do it.
Are you staying with your original tagline?
What's
It
it
was
say?
everything I want.
Oh yeah,
remembered and more.
everything I remembered and more. That's everything I could have wanted. Yeah, it was it.
All right. Well, that's Sorority House Massacre 2 on the Saturday Night Freak Show. Next week, it's going to be my pick, and we're going to watch a slasher movie classic called Pieces.
Bases.
You don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre.
Oh.
And it's exactly what you think it is. There you go. I used 2 taglines
Yeah, that was good. That was
in
good.
the wrap-up. Is it the Star Crash of slasher movies?
Oh, I hope so.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we already saw that tonight, but we're going to find out next week as unintentional humor ruins the day and gore, buckets of gore in Pieces. Next week on the Saturday Night Freak Show. And until then, the basement is going dark.